Gather yourself, Ren. Your greatest foe lies just beyond.
After a few big patches since launch and the latest massive update from Skydance, Behemoth is currently 50% off. Over 1,400 people have rated it 4.57 out of 5 stars, with 90% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Awesome. And the game continues to get better with 2 new modes, starting with the Arena.
Your reckoning approaches.
Test your hand-to-hand combat against waves of enemies, battling day and night across 3 maps. Along the way, you'll collect coins from your fallen foes and trade them for more powerful new golden weapons. With a total of 15 in all, each have unique powers for players to discover and master. But just be careful, because weapons have a habit of breaking at the worst moments in the arena. And with randomized maps and encounters, no 2 arena mode runs will ever be the same. And the second mode is the Behemoth Trials, enabling players to take on any behemoth at any time, or even a series of behemoths if you're feeling lucky. And once you conquer the arena all the way through, you'll unlock Endless Mode, which is the true test of a warrior's strength. The Rites of Wrath update for Skydance's Behemoth is truly the direct result of player feedback and a great reason to revisit the Forsaken Lands if you've already finished the campaign. And if you haven't, there's no better time to pick up Skydance's Behemoth at 50% off. And the original game that put Skydance on the virtual reality map. This is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, and it's currently 50% off. Over 3,100 people have rated it 4.51 out of 5 stars, with 88% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium or Deluxe member, this game is no longer a part of your catalog as of May 20th, so now may be the time to get this at that awesome sale price. However, they are also offering the Tourist Edition on sale at 50% off as well, and this includes a bunch of other things such as the Sheriff, the Judge, and the National Guard knife weapon recipes that are exclusive to the Tourist Edition, as well as some voodoo dolls, which I believe they're just decorations, as I've never used them in the game before. Aside from the immediate difference of that 4K HDR OLED display making everything look stunning, I was really impressed with the tracking, and now being able to accurately use that bow and arrow was so rewarding and satisfying. It really made me play the game with that stealth aspect, which I didn't last time. Now, the Tourist Edition part of the game allows you to continue the campaign story after you've completed it, with the Aftershocks update simply giving you more to do, along with the Meat Grinder update that has you face relentless waves of walkers in the Trial, which is a special mode that allows all the weapons to be unlockable. There's stamina and health boosts, and an arena-style combat survival. And for those of you that have never played this before, you do not need to be a fan of the Walking Dead series, zombies, or even horror games in general. This is an excellent game that demonstrates the awesomeness of VR, having you scavenge resources and food for survival, and using those scraps to craft weapons and food at your trailer. Literally, the game still holds up today, especially on the PSVR2 at that sale price. That said, if you've played it before, I don't think you need to play it again, as I did remember everything, but was just really happy overall seeing the differences with the new PSVR2 tech. And Skydance continues to deliver by listening to the players' feedback, reducing the permanent price of Chapter 2 to reflect that of DLC content, which totally is appropriate here. And now it's currently 50% off. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium or Deluxe member, this game is no longer a part of your catalog as of May 20th. Over 2,000 people rated this 4.41 out of 5 stars, with 85% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. With this Payback Edition, you are getting some extras such as the Blessing and Fat Tuesday weapon recipes to let you know what to collect in-game so you can craft those unique weapons. As well, it includes the Demon Storage Shelf and some collectible postcards. And of course, after much anticipation and excitement, I was more than happy to get my hands on this after it launched, and I have to report, I was actually really let down. The game is more of the same, which is awesome, don't get me wrong, but because I platinumed the first game, replayed it again on the PSVR2, Chapter 2 really felt just like DLC for the main game. Seriously. You know, after so much polish from the first game, I was totally disappointed by seeing so many issues throughout Chapter 2. Not game breaking, thankfully, but immersion breaking for sure. But for those of you that have never experienced The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 1 and 2, you can now get both bundled together at 50% off. And with this bundle, you are getting the Tourist Edition and the Payback Edition with all the goodies listed right here. Feel like a Jedi in this epic PSVR2 exclusive in Synapse. And it's 45% off right now. Over 2,500 people have rated it 4.59 out of 5 stars, with 91% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium member, you already have this game in your catalog. And I just have to say, this game played absolutely beautiful in room scale, and the 4K HDR OLED display, oh my, the grayscale effect with the colors, you know, amazing, honestly.
Oh, nice! Oh, seeing those tracers right by my eyes like that. Oh, no! Oh, man.
The feeling of the adaptive triggers when you like grab a barrel and then you're having it hover in front of somebody, you can feel that tension in that trigger, and then you just slowly squeeze it more and then you feel it pop.
I can grab that barrel lightly, move it, and then if I squeeze it, make it blow up. Boom! So cool, guys. You can use your whole body to take cover, but now that they've included this grip button, you can just stand anywhere or sit on a couch and literally pull yourself into cover and out like that. Incredibly awesome and intuitive. Like this, I'm going to climb. You can use your right hand as well when you're climbing. Amazing, honestly.
Every gun, every weapon, everything just felt so intuitive to play with, so butter smooth. If you want to know how the game actually works, I did cover this in detail. I did platinum the game, I absolutely loved it. It didn't actually take that long, maybe a couple days, not even. But the game really did pick up after the first run, so you beat the game, and then you have another run, and then you do it again, and then there's a third run after that. But truly, the game really picked up on the second run. It felt like I was learning the game the first time, and then the challenge just kicked in big time. And with that, the fun factor, obviously. So cool, guys. And knowing that this is exclusive to the PSVR2, you do need to run out and get this. Hubris is an epic sci-fi adventure that no VR gamer should miss out playing, according to Without Parole. And it's 60% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 65% off total. Over 1,400 people have rated it 4.38 out of 5 stars, with 87% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And as you can see here, it did win the WN Unreal Engine Best VR Game, as well as Upload VR's Best Desktop Game and Belgium Game Awards Best XR Game. Now that said, I gotta say that after completing the game on normal difficulty, I totally enjoyed the game and originally gave this 4 stars, but went back for another playthrough on hard to get that platinum trophy, but was really surprised that the game was more fun on the harder difficulty.
Oh, that's harder for sure.
I was also shocked that I somehow missed that the default setting for sharpness was on 0 and not cranked to 1. Really weird. I was actually expecting some sort of performance issue with the sharpness cranked, but I swear I couldn't see any frame rate issues whatsoever. Only that everything looked slightly sharper than before, which was great, obviously. I totally dug the theme, the sound, the sense and headset haptics, the adaptive triggers, and being able to walk around in full room scale VR felt great.
Run direction, controller, overhead. If you go head based, when you move your head like this and you're pressing forward, your guy will move this way in VR. It's totally unnatural. For all games, I recommend controller, and this is how you play room scale VR. And when you're moving in all VR games with your left stick, traditional stuff, when I press forward and keep my arm still pressing forward and then look around, my body's still moving forward like in real life. When I'm pressing my left stick again, and then I move my body and my head at the same time. See, I'm keeping my arms stiff? That's how you move fully in VR, and it feels amazing.
Even the climbing sections were really cool.
Oh, the heights. Yes, that looks awesome. Oh, I hate heights.
But it was those incredible swimming scenes with that underwater gun that really stood out to me. That felt and looked amazing. Hubris has a balanced mix of jumping, climbing, swimming, action, and story with some basic crafting of weapons. Ultimately, it took me about 8 hours to complete, but I can highly recommend this at this incredible 60% off, as the game was generally enjoyable throughout the entire experience. Now, if you're still unsure whether or not this game is for you, you can get the free trial by logging onto the PlayStation Store website or directly on the PlayStation app.
Why would they build a research facility way out here?
Red Matter 2 is an award-winning immersive puzzle adventure, and it's currently 40% off right now. Over 2,000 people have rated this 4.82 out of 5 stars, with 97% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. That's got to be one of the best ratings on the PlayStation Store. Quite simply, this game has blown me away technically speaking, and has set the bar for what I expect a PSVR2 game can look and play like. And I am happy to report I've just completed it, and every moment in Red Matter 2 is utterly jaw-dropping. Just as a heads up, the story does kick off right after Red Matter 1, and I highly recommend you play that one first. And even though this trailer does show some action sequences, it's really about 5% of the game, and a few have commented in the past that they felt bored playing it, so I do have to manage expectations here. Personally, I had a blast with this entire game, and have to remind everyone that this really is an environmental puzzle-based game. So I don't even want to tell you anything about the story. It did make a lot of sense to me, part 1, and now it's making a lot more sense as I'm playing just the first hour of the game. I cannot get over just walking around ever so slowly using my full body to turn in room scale VR, and everything just feels absolutely smooth and seamless.
Like movement based on controller. Yes, this is what you do want for room scale VR. Otherwise, if you go by head, when you're moving forward and you turn your head, all of a sudden your guy's going to walk that way. It's not realistic. You want it on controller for every game. And just to point this out as a room scale walking example, if I move forward and keep my arms still straight, that's how I can still move forward and look around. The moment I turn my arm with my head while pressing forward, that's what's turning me. It just feels like a next-gen experience, and you don't want to go back after that. You know, not using a right stick to turn at all. We don't do that in real life, you know what I'm saying? It's just natural to walk and look around. Wow. That's the hardest thing, guys. You really can't show people what this headset can do until they put it on. And again, you can talk about it all you want, but even myself, who's owned this for almost 2 years now, I still get blown away.
Simulation activated.
And one of the most incredible looking games to ever grace the PSVR2, Subside, is currently 15% off. With over 1,800 people rating it 3.66 out of 5 stars, 62% gave this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 25% did give this 1 star. And quite simply, the official PlayStation Store description says, Subside is an immersive aquatic VR experience with multiple areas to explore and lifelike aquatic creatures to interact with. Crafted with unparalleled realism, it aims to replicate the nuances of real-life swimming and diving into shallow waters. That is all that it actually says, but just looking at what I'm seeing here, wow, I'm totally blown away. And I do have to recommend you check out Without Parole's review, and I'll leave a link in the description, that way you can see it for yourself. Or better yet, you can check it out for yourself by getting the Subside demo on the PlayStation Store right now. And yet another absolute must-have for every PSVR2 owner, Resident Evil Village is currently 75% off. Almost 38,000 people have rated it 4.68 out of 5 stars, with 92% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And just like Resident Evil 4, the game doesn't have that VR mode built into it, so you do have to find Resident Evil Village on the PlayStation Store, go all the way down until you see add-ons. You're going to see the free VR mode there, click that, download it, install it, otherwise it goes to a large cinematic screen and you're using your DualSense controller. It's in 2D mode, so you do need that VR mode literally downloaded, installed before you load the game to actually experience this in awesome full VR. And what's cool is that this standard edition is all you need to play this AAA PSVR2 exclusive in that full VR mode, and it's what I highly recommend for everyone to have in their library. Whether you're into the horror genre or not, and trust me, I am not whatsoever, this game is an excellent showcase of how the PSVR2 can transform an already incredible game and shoot it straight into the next generation. Seriously, you're now inside the beautiful world at life size with no compromise. If anything, you have only more ways to unleash your actual abilities, such as dual wielding weapons while running in room scale VR, blocking incoming attacks, manually reloading during intense combat, and then opening your trench coat to use your flashlight. Awesome. And again, just to reiterate, you do not need anything else but this standard edition to enjoy that full VR awesomeness. However, there are some extra DLC items that you can get on sale, but only some of them work in VR, and I'm going to go over really quick what works and what doesn't work in VR. Now, the one thing that is available for you to use in VR, this is the Survival Resources Pack, and it's 25% off. With that, you are getting some handgun ammo, shotgun ammo, a first aid med pack, and a lockpick. And the other item that you can use in VR, this is the Mr. Raccoon weapon charm, and it's 25% off, and this is simply just an aesthetic charm that hangs off of 2 shotguns, the M1897 and the W870 TAC shotgun. I think that's how you pronounce them. Next, we have a weird one. This is the Extra Shop All Access voucher, and it's 60% off. That said, this is not available in VR. I have no idea why. I've not used any of the actual DLC in either of the Resident Evil games here. And on the PlayStation Store description, it just says that it unlocks all rewards in the extra content shop. But again, this does not work in VR, just saying. Next, we do have a bundle of items that do have a few things that will work in VR. This is the Trauma Pack, and it's 25% off. And with that, it does include the Samurai Edge AW Model 01, and that is available in VR, as well as the Resident Evil 7 Found Footage Filter, and that is not available in VR, as that's for the flat screen experience only. You're getting the Resident Evil 7 tape recorder save point. Unfortunately, that is not in VR. You're getting Safe Room Music Go Tell Aunt Rhody, that is in VR, as well as the Mr. Everywhere weapon charm, that is in VR as well. And with this Trauma Pack, you'll immediately unlock the Village of Shadows difficulty. And I do not know whether or not that Village of Shadows difficulty is available in VR. Anybody in the comments section, if you've played this, please let us know whether or not we can do this in VR. If not, I'm gonna have to check it out sooner than later and let everybody know. You're also getting the Tragedy of Ethan Winters artwork and the Baker Incident Report, which are not available in VR. But the most important DLC for all the hardcore Resident Evil fans, this is the Winters expansion, and it's 50% off, and there are 3 main modes to this game, and they're not available in VR, unfortunately. The first one is the ability to play the game in third-person mode. This is the classic Resident Evil 4, where you're seeing yourself in third person, but man, I gotta say, if you're a huge fan of the Resident Evil series, you probably will want to check this out. As well, this includes the Mercenaries Additional Orders, and just like the Resident Evil 4, this is a separate minigame where it's all about your skills in these time-based challenges. But unlike Resident Evil 4, this one includes 3 new characters, including the towering Lady Dimitrescu, as well as Heisenberg from what I'm seeing here in the trailer. I do not know that third one. Anyone in the comment section, if you want to let us know, that'd be great. But the most significant part of this DLC is called Shadows of Rose, and this is a new scenario starring the grown-up Rose, Ethan's beloved daughter, who was kidnapped as a baby that kicked off the original Village story. And just showing you real quick the rating that this actual DLC received, I am assuming that is the Shadows of Rose DLC, that is that extra storyline plot. I do wish that was in VR, like Daughters on Resident Evil 7. Don't know why they didn't do that. That would have been really cool to play. And if you did get the Winters expansion, you may be interested to know that you can also get the Street Wolf outfit for Rose, and that's 25% off, but that said, it can only be used in that Winters expansion DLC, as it gives Rose a tougher look as she takes on enemies with this jacket, which features the logo of Chris Redfield's Hound Wolf Squad on the back. Interesting. And speaking of which, the next DLC is again not in VR, but I didn't even know this existed until I did these sales videos. In the base game, you do get for free Resident Evil Reverse. This is an online multiplayer game that you play against your friends where you're fighting each other as teams, then whoever dies, they spawn into these monsters and now they're attacking you. I've never played before, again, not in VR, will never play this. It even says in the description that the online service does not last forever and at any time this game could go offline, so heads up. And for those of you that are still unsure whether or not Resident Evil Village VR is for you, you can check out the Resident Evil Village VR gameplay demo on the PlayStation Store for free right now. And the other 2 must-have Resident Evil games are currently bundled together. Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition and Village Gold Edition are 75% off. And that is including Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition, all of the DLC that was included. Even though you cannot play any of this stuff on your PSVR2, there is a rumor going around that this is going to be remastered for the PSVR2. I can't confirm that for sure, but if you don't already own the game, this might be the time to actually get it. And unlike Resident Evil 4 and 8, Resident Evil 7 had most of the DLC available in VR, and they were excellent. I remember playing all of it. It was so amazing. Daughters was my absolute favorite, giving you the origin story of how Eve actually arrived at the Baker family. This bundle also features Resident Evil Village Gold Edition, which does include many extras such as the Trauma Pack, Winter's Expansion, and Resident Evil Reverse, which I go over in great detail in the last chapter there if you missed it, because the DLC for Village is also on sale. But I do have to say that I only recommend getting the standard edition, which is also on sale right now, and it's all you need to play the incredibly awesome VR mode. And just like Resident Evil 4, the game does not have that VR mode built in, so you do need to go to the PlayStation Store, find Resident Evil Village, go all the way down till you see add-ons, click that VR mode, install it, then load the game up and you're ready to go. I personally think all the Resident Evil should be in your library if you own the PSVR2, and I've never played anything Resident Evil up until the PSVR 1.
Here we go.
But the next horror game is a must-have for the PSVR 2, and I'm talking about Resident Evil 4 Gold Edition at 40% off currently. And just to speak to how popular Resident Evil 4 is, over 98,000 people have rated the game 4.75 out of 5 stars, with 93% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Incredible. And when you do go to buy this game, I do have to say this because a lot of you didn't know that you do not have the VR mode built into the game right away. So when you go to Resident Evil 4 on the PlayStation Store, just go down all the way to the bottom where you see add-ons, and you're going to see the Resident Evil 4 VR mode there. Click that, download it, install it, then load your game. That way you can play in VR and use your PSVR 2 Sense controllers. Otherwise, it defaults you to the large-ass cinematic screen and you're using your DualSense controller, and a lot of people didn't know that. That's not the VR mode. That said, when you do go to play this in the VR mode and you did just grab this Gold Edition, there are a lot of DLC extras here that you cannot use in VR. And the first one being the most important here, this is called Separate Ways. This is a side story with Ada Wong. Almost 700 people have rated it, 4.7 out of 5 stars, with 91% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Before any US agent had even set foot in the Cursed Village, she was there. Her mission? The retrieval of the cult's darkest secret, the Amber. Separate Ways, the missing link in the main story, is a thrilling survival horror adventure starring Ada Wong. See the other side of the story from her eyes as her mission and fate intertwines with Leon Kennedy's a second time. And the other thing that's included with the base game, not in the Gold Edition, it doesn't come with it obviously, but in the base game you do get Resident Evil 4 The Mercenaries. Almost 600 people have rated this, 4.39 out of 5 stars, with 82% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And this game mode is all about racing against the clock and battling your way to the top of the leaderboards. Even though those two game modes are not in VR, I do feel compelled to tell everybody, because if you are getting these Gold Editions, you need to know exactly what you're getting here. And speaking of which, the next big one is the Resident Evil 4 Extra DLC Pack. This one comes with a slew of items here, and I'm going to go over each one so you know what works in VR and what doesn't. The first one here is Leon's sunglasses, and I thought they were just an aesthetic where you see it on the actual person in-game, but no, it actually does affect gameplay. I did not know this, so props to Percy for letting us know that. In Resident Evil 4, the sunglasses make you immune to flashbangs. I never would have thought of that. And in the PlayStation Store description, you can see here, it talks about protecting your baby blues from the sun and other pesky monsters with these sunglasses. It could help you with other things that I'm totally unaware of. Again, anyone in the comments section, please pipe in, let me know if I'm missing anything. That'd be awesome. And in order to actually put these sunglasses on, you do go to the pause menu in the extra section there. That's where you can actually change up your stuff. And it does say right here that the sunglasses can be used in both the main game and the Separate Ways DLC. But remember, the Separate Ways DLC is not in VR. And the next thing you're getting here is the Sentinel-9. I love using pistols. I didn't look at the actual description before, and it says it's a fully customized handgun for tackling bioterrorism. You know, that means nothing to me, other than it boasts both accuracy and versatility, making it the reliable choice. Anyone in the comment section, if you can speak to this, do you feel an actual gameplay difference by using this pistol over the default one we have in the game here? And in order to access this, it says deluxe weapons can be claimed from the storage menu at the typewriter, the save point there. But unlike the sunglasses, this can be used in the main game, but not the Separate Ways DLC. And just like the pistol, same idea here, you're getting another version of the shotgun called the Skull Shaker. And quite simply, it does say it's a sawed-off stock and barrel, so you are allowing for excellent maneuverability and handling. Again, anyone in the comment section, if you've been playing with both shotguns, can you let us know whether or not that's actually a gameplay difference? And same idea here, again, all deluxe weapons you do have to claim at the typewriter, but this can only be used in the main game and not the Separate Ways DLC. And when it comes to the costumes, you're getting a casual set for both Leon and Ashley, but unlike the pistol and the shotgun, you can use the costumes in the main game and the Separate Ways DLC. And all you have to do to access that, you just hit the pause button and go into the extras menu, and you'll see all your costumes in there. And the next one that you're getting here is the romantic set for both Leon and Ashley. Same idea, just go in the extras, change it up. Of course, all costumes can be used in both the main game and the Separate Ways DLC, but this costume and filter
The costume can be used, again, just like the other ones, in the main game and the separate ways, but the filter is not VR compatible. When it comes to the filter, that's a 2D flat screen experience, and what you're seeing here, this is an actual image of the before and after. So personally, when I'm seeing this, it looks really washed out. I'd rather just the original look altogether. And the next costume and filter they're offering, same idea, you can only use the costume. Again, you're getting the villain version, which quickly showing you here, this is the actual filter, and I feel like it looks kind of red and orangey. It doesn't look as good as the original version, so I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm not seeing it on my screen, but yeah, I can't recommend any of this stuff, to be honest with you. But the one thing that does sound really cool to me is the original soundtrack swap. I did not play this game back in the day in 2004 or whenever it was on the PS2, I can't remember. But for those of you that have and have this nostalgic attachment to it, it's so cool that you can just go into your extras menu and then switch that to the original soundtrack, and I believe all of the action sounds, like the guns and sound effects and everything, so that's really neat. But that said, you can only use this in the main game for Resident Evil 4. It does not work in the Separate Ways DLC. You're also getting a treasure map expansion, which the game does include a treasure map to begin with. This simply just adds more treasures to the existing map and some additional treasures that weren't in the game to begin with. And you can simply confirm that by looking at your original map once you've installed this stuff. And this expansion only works for the main game of Resident Evil 4, not for the Separate Ways DLC. However, you can use the items that you've accumulated in the main game from the treasure map and bring them over to Separate Ways. So that's cool. But yeah, that's what they're saying here in the official PlayStation Store description. And for those of you that are still on the fence as to whether or not this game is for you, I highly recommend that you get the gameplay demo on the PlayStation Store right now. The biggest surprise hit, and now one of my favorite games of all time, Stilt, is the closest thing to Super Mario 64 in VR, and it's currently 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 360 people rated it 4.52 out of 5 stars, with 89% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And me giving this 5 out of 5 hands down, because this game is a masterpiece. The 4K HDR OLED display absolutely makes this game look beautiful. On top of that, you've got a native 120 frames per second, which makes this game feel absolutely real when you're inside. There's no jitter, no stutter whatsoever. This is the first true Super Mario Brothers in VR. Unlike an Astrobot, a Ven VR, or a Max Mustard, you are actually the player in the game at full life size, and that changes the formula completely. You know, seeing a little floating dude in front of you as you're controlling him has always been fun for me, don't get me wrong. I've always enjoyed that, but you being that dude in game, having to bounce around on these skinny platforms and using these stilts, unlike hitting a button where you're just pressing that and you jump, or you press and hold and it jumps longer. The amount of precision, the amount of control you have with them. And I highly recommend when you get this game, don't start off bouncing around like this, just lift your arms up. There are no legs to your avatar, so when you do this, all of a sudden your body's on the ground, and then you just push yourself off like this and practice doing that. Even the littlest flicks from the ground, you'll just get the smallest amount of jumps. The absolute precision you get from these controls are masterful. Honestly, I never thought just moving around at all times in a game was total fun, like jumping on a trampoline.
Look at the incredible control, just the lightest little flick. See? Stick my stilt out and hold like this. And again, you don't have to jump from spot to spot because of the gorilla tag. Look, you just literally do this. So much easier, man. The controls are phenomenal. Such an awesome game. Now that said, I do have to get over... Oh, see that? Awesome. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool.
And that said, when you go to jump really high and a wall is in front of you, do be sure when you flick those wrists, turn them sideways like this. The reason is because if your stilts are facing forward, you're just going to push off the wall. And that's a good thing, because you're going to have to do wall jumps like classic Mario style, off a wall and off a wall again.
Oh, Mario wall jump! Oh my goodness. Oh, that is messed up. Ah.
It's been so long since I've experienced the game with that classic Nintendo feel, but do it absolutely beautifully, perfectly actually, and then reinvent the wheel with the new control scheme.
I don't even know. Like, it's okay to the right. Oh, man.
And I keep comparing this to Mario 64. This game does have 20 levels to explore. And just like classic Mario style, each world has a whole plethora of stamps filled throughout the entire level. You're encouraged to collect them because the more stamps you collect, the more that you can actually one-up and then keep coming back into that world and continue. And each world has stars like in Mario, but they're called gifts. So same idea, you collect these gifts in each world, that way you can open up another section of the overworld, which is the island, and it contains another section of worlds to play in. And that overworld is just like the Mario Castle with the paintings, but instead of paintings, these are mailboxes that are just sitting around that island that you go to. And those levels do have these little hidden caves. If you think about pipes in Mario where you go into a specific pipe and then you've got this little underworld area to discover, there are those caves in this game where you have these challenges and a gift locked into there. And when I compare this to the original Super Mario Brothers, the challenges, I've never experienced anything like this in VR. Honestly, guys, the creativity, the level design, the music, the controls, the sense controllers, the headset haptics, everything is completely polished. Even at the end of each world, just like classic Mario World 1-1. Unlike hitting a pole at the end of each stage in Mario Brothers where you run, jump, try to get to the highest point and then you drop on that flag. And this one, you're seeing a bunch of balloons lined up to a top yellow balloon with a crown on it, and you've got 3 seconds to get up and hit that crown. It's quite difficult. Again, like Mario 64, you'd collect 100 coins and you get like a free star. In this game, on the left side, you're seeing on the pause menu here, or at the end of the stage, there's a certain amount of stamps that you have to collect and keep until you reach the end of the stage in order to get that actual gift. And the gift on the right side is awarded for completing the stage within a set time limit. Just like Mario 1 again, the time counts upwards, it's not counting down, so really bizarre but old school awesomeness. And then at the bottom you can see this line with these 4 icons. It's actually bronze, silver, gold, and that's the actual time you need to get that gift reward on the right side there, and then platinum, which is not a gift, it's a medal, and you do want to collect all of those medals in order to get the platinum trophy in the game. The game does include an assist mode if you find the challenge is too overwhelming. I did not use it whatsoever, I plowed through it. I have not tested it, but I do know you can include more platforms, give yourself more power-ups, unlimited lives, all that stuff. You get to actually choose how you want to assist yourself. And then they include this multiplayer mode with a multitude of different game modes I've yet to even experience. So here I am telling you, this is my favorite VR platformer of all time, one of my favorite VR games of all time, if not one of my favorite games, truly, and no one seems to be talking about this the way that I feel. This is just seriously crazy how you have to use your absolute skill and precision at these crazy heights with these small little moving platforms. It's incredibly terrifying. It's really hard to describe if you're afraid of the heights. And again, like Mario Brothers, there are these power-ups that absolutely change the game completely. For instance, when you pick up the fireball, instead of bouncing around or using your stilts to bop them on the head, you just fire these fireballs out of your cannon. But unlike Mario where you're throwing them with a button, I'm actually firing with my trigger, feeling the adaptive trigger, and then it feels like it's lobbing them. And then you've got a propeller that'll help you just glide across a bunch of obstacles. And with those stamps that you're collecting to get 1-ups, you can use those stamps to actually purchase power-ups when you come back into the world. Guys, I haven't felt this way for decades, since like Mario 64 released on the N64. Such amazing controls that I've never seen in any other game. No matter how much talking I do or how many clips I show you, you will not understand until you're inside the game yourself and using your hands and feeling that precision as you're bouncing around. Just be sure to turn off the right stick in the settings, that way you can use your full body to turn to get the most immersive and precise controls possible. This pushes the whole VR medium in general to the next level. That's why I feel everyone needs to experience this game. And honestly, I can't believe it's already cheap to begin with, and then to see this at over half off, you absolutely need to get this game whether you love platformers or not.
Oh yeah, show me your thumbs, because I don't have any thumb. Is that it?
Hand tracking is now possible on the PlayStation VR 2, and with that, the classic Wizard Simulator has been magically transformed in Waltz of the Wizard, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 25% more, making it 75% off total. Over 700 people have rated it 4.47 out of 5 stars, with 87% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. Dive into a meticulously crafted, world-inspired, classical fantasy fiction, many times its original size through major updates since its release. And I do mean major updates, guys. I played this years ago, and this thing has expanded greatly. Waltz of the Wizard includes hours of content, thrilling gameplay, humorous characters, cutting-edge PSVR2 features, and many curious secrets. Your journey begins in a magical tower where you combine arcane ingredients into a boiling cauldron with the help of your skull assistant and embark on an absurdly mysterious adventure beyond the tower. Quite simply, you will unleash dozens of extraordinary magical abilities, each bending the laws of physics in thrilling and powerful ways. Discover absurdly detailed secrets in every corner of your tower. This includes a large campaign with storyline, combat, and challenges with hundreds of voice interactions. And with that, you'll have incredible voice powers that can be used on everything. There's an infinite level generation mode for endless fun in the fortress dungeon crawling. Interesting. And you can also team up with a friend in asymmetric co-op, with one on the flat screen and one in VR. The critically acclaimed Cozy VR City creator just got a little bigger in Little Cities Bigger, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total. Almost 100 people have rated it 4.75 out of 5 stars, with 93% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And unlike Cities VR, I do believe this is more pick up and play, and you're doing these smaller portion areas like an island or islands connecting. But I think it does have that full SimCity feel. Again, I say SimCity, that's the original games that I started playing back in the day. That's what I can relate to. I'm not too sure how different this is from Cities VR. I don't think it's as detailed as Cities VR. I think this is more pick up and play all in one small polished package. But everything I'm hearing about this, it's better, so I'm not too sure why. Anyone in the comments section, if you own Cities VR and Little Cities Bigger, can you please speak to it and say which one is the more detailed, more fun to play out of the two? Shoot to kill, kill to move, dispatch foes and seize their weapon in midair to propel yourself forward in Vendetta Forever. And it's 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 45% off total. Over 200 people have rated it 4.49 out of 5 stars, with 87% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And already this game is getting a ton of praise from some reputable sources, as you're seeing right here. And Push Square saying that it's the next VR must play. The 6th Axis said Vendetta Forever is a new contender for my favorite VR game, and Real of Virtual said one of our favorite games of the year. Vendetta Forever fuses rapid fire tactical gunplay with effortless acrobatic style in an unapologetic love letter to classic action cinema. This takes everything you love about top tier VR action, removing the fluff and cutting straight to the good part for 100% gunplay purity. Rampage through over 60 snackable slices of ultra stylish strategic shooting. Every moment feels like cinematic mayhem, spanning saloon shootouts to high-tech hijackings at 30,000 feet. Take center stage and blast, zip, and slice through enemies to a pounding synthetic soundtrack. Dead Second is an arcade action cover shooter, and it's currently 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. Over 170 people have rated it 4.63 out of 5 stars, with 93% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Awesome! This totally reminds me of Crisis Brigade. However, in this game you remember the CSF Kronos Strike Force, a top secret agency that employs a small time dilation technology called the temporal overdrive. The device is synergized with the adrenal receptors of a CSF's agent's brain, granting them superhuman reflexes. Governments have fallen into disarray. Corporations and private military contractors rule the streets, take on a series of assignments, and make them pay. The Dead Second is a time reaction system. Defeating an enemy momentarily slows time, giving you a chance to dodge incoming enemy fire and acquire your next target. Chaining a quick succession of takedowns boosts your score, time, and accuracy points. Charge your temporal overdrive and dominate your adversaries. Progress through the ranks and unlock additional guns and cosmetics on your way to the top of the leaderboards. Our beloved hero Quill's epic adventure is now complete on the PS5 in Moss and Moss 2 bundle, and it's currently 20% off. However, there is another bundle called Moss and Moss Book 2 bundle, which is showing an even lower price for over half of the regions listed here. I have no idea why, but yeah, grab this one instead, I guess. Even though it says almost 10,000 people have rated this bundle, that's the actual rating for Moss, whereas Moss 2 scored even better, but with only 1,800 people scoring at 4.79 out of 5 stars. And again, just speaking to this, back in the day when VR was brand new, this was incredible. You being able to move around in that full, beautiful world and then manipulate objects to help her jump on and stuff was just so neat. Now, what's interesting, unlike playing like a pixel ripped on PSVR2 after playing on PSVR1, I felt like Moss wasn't that much more enhanced than what I remembered on PSVR1. But what I was really excited to do was walk around in room scale and have the angle that I wanted at any time to play, and it didn't work. I ended up playing the whole game through, and all the footage I captured was just too janky from a camera angle perspective that I had to keep going back and sitting down to play. So, but yeah, that's my rant. That's literally it. The game played just like it did on PSVR 1. If you're playing seated, everything works fine.
There's no turning back now. Or so the saying goes.
I do own this game, but haven't played it yet, so I can't speak to this from personal experience, but from what I'm hearing, everywhere, the sequel does live up to the original and more. Quill is back and better than ever, but this time she's being hunted by those who seek to unmake this world and are desperate for the glass she holds, and they'll stop at nothing to claw it from her grasp. You must help Quill venture deep inside the Hex Castle of the Arcane, where dangerous terrain, challenging puzzles, and enemies twisted in fire and steel await. The journey will be trying, filled with triumph and heartbreak alike, but new allies, old friends, and the very nature of the castle itself can offer help along the way. Yet in the end, it is only you alone who can lift Quill up to save this world and together rise to legend. Now, if you've already played Moss like me on the PSVR 1 and you just want to get Moss Book 2, it's currently 35% off. And if you want to know more about this game, just rewind about a minute as I'm including it in the Moss and Moss Book 2 bundle. Captain Toonhead vs. the Punks from Outer Space is an over-the-top tower defense game, and it's currently 30% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 40% off total. Only 43 people have rated it 4.63 out of 5 stars, with 90% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. I have not played the game before, but from what I understand, you do play the traditional tower defense game in third-person mode, setting up your base, and then you go into first-person mode and actually do the action or the combat side of things here. VR Scout has said Captain Toonhead might be the most over-the-top VR game ever. As well, VR GameFAQs has said one of the best tower defense games I've ever played in VR. And this does look absolutely wacky and bizarre. Every character, every theme, all of it just looks so insanely weird. And you're supposed to balance the action with strategy, as shooting alone will not defeat the waves of cyber chickens and terra sharks. Combine those pinata tower bombs with your throws in a very strategic way if you want to save the Enter cubes and defeat Nicola Voorhees' punk army. You know, I don't even know. I just know this is a tower action defense game, and everyone that has spoken to this, literally played the game, reviewed it, has gone on to say how much fun it is. I've never been into tower defense games personally, but yeah, this one definitely stands out amongst all the others for sure just by looking at this. So weird. Anyone in the comments section that does own the game, has played it, can you please let us know your experience? That way we know whether or not to grab this at the sale price. Become a god and save your residents from the enemy in this VR tower defense game, Towers and Powers, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 200 people have rated it 4.41 out of 5 stars, with 89% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. Awesome. I did already buy this game on a previous sale, so I really need to load it up and see what it's all about. But from the PlayStation Store description, it says, in Towers and Powers, you'll find yourself in an ancient land surrounded by the beautiful landscape, elegant buildings, mythical creatures, and chaos. These gorgeous places are under attack. As one of the gods, you'll have to save your residents and keep their islands from falling. In this game, you're going to create your team of peasants, priests, warriors, and magicians, decide which buildings they need, use your powers to defend allies and trap foes. Awaiting you on your island, you'll find economic and military tasks to accomplish, exciting battles and travels to undertake, and loyal worshippers, cruel enemies, and monsters to encounter. And I gotta say, every time this goes on sale, the community has only said very positive things about this game. Walkabout Mini Golf continues to impress all around, with new DLC being released on the regular, and now they've permanently included 6 DLC courses as part of the base game, and it's currently 24% off. And for those of you that already own the base game, you will automatically gain access to those 6 courses without requiring additional purchases to own this content. But the regular price has now increased to reflect this. And for those of you with a PlayStation Plus Premium or Deluxe membership, heads up, the base game is no longer a part of your catalog as of May 20th, so this may be the time to get it. Escape into a fun and beautiful world filled with the best mini golf courses you've ever seen. Play by yourself, meet someone new, or challenge your friends in a private game with up to 8 people. With extremely realistic physics, you're going to create the perfect experience for hardcore golfers and casual players alike. This entire base game has 8 unique 18-hole courses to master, and each one has the ability to unlock Night Mode for more challenging versions of all courses. Again, you can play solo 1 versus 1 online quick matches, or you can create a private room with up to 8 players, and with that private room, every player can play on your course. If you own all of the DLC in this game, everyone can participate. They just can't do any of the treasure hunts or use any of the special putters that they've accumulated and play in your course. And of course, they cannot play and practice on the course until they buy it themselves. You're going to collect over 188 custom balls hidden throughout the entire game. As well, you can solve these treasure treasure hunts on each hard course to earn special putters. The game totally supports crossplay, which allows every VR user to play, meaning that you'll never be alone playing this game. And to fit all playstyles, you can teleport, use smooth locomotion, or fly around on your putter like a witch on a broomstick. And then you've got these custom avatars featuring lip sync and a quadrillion plus combinations. Over 2,300 people rated this 4.62 out of 5 stars, with 91% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And here's a quick look at all of the DLC courses now included with the base game. Sweetopia, Laser Lair, Shangri-La, Upside Town, Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Elfheim, Land of the Elves, and if you want to get even more DLC courses on sale, there are a few of them at 50% off, starting with Viva Las Elvis, Mist, and it's 50% off, Jim Henson's Labyrinth, and it's 50% off, Meow Wolf, and it's 50% off, and the last one is Wallace and Gromit, and that's 50% off as well.
Quite amazing. Golf in West Wallaby Street.
Battle strange beasts and brave the elements to stay alive in Song in the Smoke Rekindled, and it's currently 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 25% more, making it 75% off total. Over 320 people rated it 4.12 out of 5 stars, with 72% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I gotta say, I did play the crap out of this on the PSVR1 and absolutely loved it. And I totally remember the music, the feeling, the sound, the atmosphere, the colors, the sense of scariness of walking around in the middle of the night trying to find food as you're trying to kill animals at the same time and build a fire. It was intensely awesome. This was my first true VR survival adventure. And now with the PlayStation VR2, you're completely unrestricted in combat, allowing you to launch your attack from anywhere you choose from. Experience the new free jump mode that allows for more natural navigation, and climb through the environment with an exclusive eye-tracked clambering system. Interesting. Song in the Smoke Rekindled features supercharged graphics with enhanced environment visuals, new special effects, and a blistering 90 frames per second frame rate to bring you into the action like never before. Right on. Gear up and get ready for the ultimate journey into the unknown and uncover the secrets of Song in the Smoke Rekindled. And what's really cool, if you own the game from the PSVR1 like I do, you can actually get a free upgrade and check it out for yourself. Or if you've never played it before, you can actually get the Song in the Smoke Rekindled demo on the PlayStation Store right now. Experience the cult classic horror like never before on the PSVR2 in Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted Full-Time Edition, and it's 50% off. And over 13,000 people have rated this since the PSVR1 days, 4.61 out of 5 stars, with 91% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Extra, Premium, or Deluxe member, this game is now a part of your catalog. And I did actually buy this on the PSVR1. You can pay a small upgrade fee instead of paying the sale price here. And I think all it was that I was part of a security staff in this booth looking at these monitors, playing with some controls, and then these animatronics appearing on some of the screens, and then they jump scare you from the side. You know, I just got within a few minutes of it, and I wasn't feeling it, just being honest, right in the beginning after playing so many awesome PSVR1 games. I had no idea that game, you know, took the franchise to the next level, and then they're making millions of dollars on all this merchandise. So I do know there's a huge cult following behind this game. I personally am not one to speak to it because I didn't give it any time. But for those of you that did love it, again, they did include in this PSVR2 version, this is the DLC called Curse of Dreadbear, exclusively for the PS5 and PSVR2. This new edition includes all content from the original Help Wanted plus the Halloween DLC Curse of Dreadbear. And this says it gives you over 50 scary fun minigames and one terrifying package. And of course, you can play the game in VR or non-VR mode. I don't know why you would play this on flat screen after having the VR experience, but they do give the option there if you want to. Crossfire Sierra Squad is a hugely popular multiplayer first-person shooter campaign, and it's 35% off right now. Over 2,000 people have rated it 3.99 out of 5 stars, with 75% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 10% did give this 1 star. And I can speak to this really quick. The launch of the game did have a ton of bugs. Then a month or two later, they totally rectified everything. And then another month later, they actually add another massive patch that fixed all the introduction levels. After a few updates now of the game since launch, I can recommend it at that price, and unlike all the other first-person shooters that focus on the online competitive multiplayer, this is about the campaign co-op as well as the squad-based missions. So cool. And it does include 39 types of weapons featuring pistols, rifles, throwable and throwbackable grenades and sniper rifles with revolutionary scope mechanics, giving you plenty of options to dispatch 17 types of enemies. And in classic arcade fashion, you'll engage with heavy artillery like helicopters and LAVs. The one thing I highly recommend, because I did play the game all the way through on the default, which was arcade, I did not like it. You need to play realism mode. I'm showing you right now when you buy the game, just change that to realism. And with that, you're going to actually take your enemies down with 1 or 2 bullets. That said, you will also go down in 1 or 2 hits. So it totally encourages you to take cover at all times, which I absolutely love playing in full room scale VR. Playing that way feels the way that I wanted the game to begin with. So I ended up playing it all the way through, unfortunately arcade, thankfully letting you guys know. Go the realism route right away. Highly recommend that. And then there are 50 squad missions for single player or 2-player co-op on top of the 13 campaign missions. And of course they have this 4-player horde mode co-op, which I've never played before. So the replayability, the amount of content is absolutely there. So yeah, really cool that we have that option to play a first-person shooter campaign-based game. It's time to get on the most nostalgic gaming ride of your life in Pixel Ripped 1995. And it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total. Over 400 people have rated it 4.58 out of 5 stars, with 91% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And for all of you that did grow up with the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx 16, all of that is referenced within this game, and so cleverly done without using any licensing whatsoever, yet every joke, every reference you'll totally get. After popping this in, not playing it for a couple of years on the PSVR2, seeing the 4K HDR OLED pop immediately, I was blown away. Just wow, how vibrant, how clean, how crisp. Everything looked so cool, guys. And again, if you've never played this before, I gotta say, if you're my age and you grew up with the same systems, you absolutely need to get this game. Now that said, after doing all of that, I did revisit the game again and played the hardcore mode, and I have to say, I was really taken back by the difficulty on this, man. I mean, incredibly hard. In one of the missions fighting a boss, I was legit holding one controller with both hands, and then Old West style using a revolver, you know, just slamming that trigger with my hand constantly. Crazy shit, man. Seriously, I'm actually intimidated to go back because my thumbs were actually aching from pounding those buttons so hard. No joke. So that is the weird factor here. I wasn't expecting that. You know, that kind of turned me off from going back. My thumbs were literally aching, you know, playing the classic Nintendo type Super Nintendo games. But all the nostalgic feel and vibe and gameplay and all that's really cool. So I do recommend this at the sale price for sure if you've never played before. But if you have played this before, just upgrade it for free right now just to see the vibrance, the HDR 4K OLED display, man. You can totally tell immediately how much that clarity and those colors really pop. But I do have to say, now that I've done this again, I do wish the PS5 DualSense controller had lights on it like the PS4 DualShock controller. You know, there's little white lights on your PSVR2 Sense controllers there. You barely see them. But I'm surprised they didn't do that with the DualSense. I'd rather use that DualSense controller playing a game like this. Truly, I would. Get ready to feel a symphony of bullets as your body moves to the rhythm and you blast your way to the beat in this award-winning action rhythm game in Pistol Whip, and it's 35% off. That said, if you're a PlayStation Premium member, this game is already in your catalog, so do not buy this game. Over 2,400 people have rated it 4.64 out of 5 stars, with 93% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I can understand why, because this is instant pick up and play action where you simply shoot and hit your targets to the beat to get the highest score on the leaderboards, all while trying to survive as you progress forward, ducking, dodging, and weaving every deadly encounter. And if you get injured, simply wait to pistol whip an enemy whenever they appear in front of you to get the upper hand and gain some health to keep you in the game, hopefully until the end of that song. And what an incredible difference the PSVR2 makes, as you can see all the bells and whistles right here. Then on top of this, they keep including all of this new DLC for free. There's so much content for this game, it's crazy. I'm recommending this game having not played it now for over a year. When I briefly touched it, and I was just playing around for 2 songs showing you a little bit of room scale, but you know, again, loving it immediately. The last DLC that they came out with, I think is called Void Slayer. And again, what you're seeing on screen totally transforms the entire look of the game completely, and every other add-on they've had in the past does the same thing. So cool, so kick-ass. It claims to have endless ways to play where you tackle over 35 unique scenes. This is literally a dance floor fever dream where you fall into vivid fantasias, shimmering nightmares, and skylines that pulse with the beat, then blast your way back out. Become the demon in Metal Hellsinger VR, and it's 30% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. Almost 200 people have rated it 4.43 out of 5 stars, with 87% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Step into the half-demon body of the unknown and feel the pulse of metal rage through you. Quite simply, shoot to the beat to make the music unfold and your power grow. See the world around you pulsate to the rhythm and be unburdened by a traditional interface. This totally reminds me of Pistol Whip, but unlike Pistol Whip, where you're moving forward at all times, it looks like you're moving around in a full 3D environment here, like a giant arena. And of course, unlike Pistol Whip, where it's more the electronic dance genre, this is all about the death metal, man. The multi-award-winning original soundtrack composer duo, Two Feathers, have created a thunderous original score with vocals by metal icons such as System of a Down, Lamb of God, Arch Enemy, and much more. And as you can see from the list of awards and nominations here, these guys nailed the audio in the music in the gameplay. Amazing. Seriously, I'm gonna have to grab this game as soon as I can. And now that the game's been out for a little while, it does have some DLC that you can grab, and they're all on sale right now. The first one being Metal Hellsinger VR Purgatory. It's normally 20% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you can save 5% more, making it 25% off total. And that Purgatory DLC contains 3 new songs that I'm showing you right here if you want to pause and take a look, as well as new weapons and new cosmetic skins. And the second DLC they're offering is called Metal Hellsinger VR Essential Hits Pack, and it's 20% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. In this Essentials pack, you're seeing a plethora of old school songs that totally took me down memory lane here, and some of them including Gorillaz, Feel Good Inc., and Muse Uprising. And that's what took me by surprise here. You know, some of these songs totally do not fit the death metal genre, but when I'd seen the actual trailer for this game, I was like, wow, that looks like a lot of fun for sure. And the last one they're offering is called Metal Hellsinger VR Dream of the Beast, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. And with this pack, you are getting 2 new songs that I'm showing you right here if you want to pause and take a look, as well as a brand new weapon and 3 outfits with passive effects. Very cool. You know, with all of those awards and nominations, and with that epic campaign, and just knowing that this game is literally Pistol Whip but totally reinvented in full 3D with that death metal genre, and if all of the content interests you, you can now get the complete edition at 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. If you love music-based rhythm games and you're into the Rock Band or Guitar Hero, you're going to want to check out Drums Rock Ultimate Music Edition, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. Over 1,300 people have rated it 4.28 out of 5 stars, with 80% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And this includes 75 plus songs, along with all of the DLC for 2023 and 2024 in one epic pack. And with this game, I want to position again like a Rock Band, more of an arcade type music rhythm based experience. This one does actually have a campaign with up to 4 hours of play, and then there are like 2 bosses in there, as well as so much DLC that's been released since the launch of the game. And speaking of which, what you're getting in this Ultimate Music Edition, starting with Undertale DLC. beginning with the Undertale song, Hopes and Dreams, as well as Megalovania. As well, you're getting the exclusive Undertale drumsticks, Undertale hands, Undertale scene, Undertale drums. But I feel the most important feature you're getting here is unlocking the exclusive extreme difficulty. And this is for all songs, like every song released for Drums Rock. You're also getting the Cyberpunk 2077 music pack, which includes 4 new songs by Samurai. Chippin' In, Alike Supreme, Never Fade Away, and the Ballad of Buck Ravers. The next music pack, this is featuring The Offspring. And with this, you're getting You're Gonna Go Far Kid by The Offspring, In the Meantime by Spacehog, My Own Worst Enemy by Lit, and Shine by Collective Soul. The other legendary music volume pack is Green Day, American Idiot by Green Day, Holiday by Green Day, The American Dream is Killing Me by Green Day, I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles by The Proclaimers, and Stricken by Disturbed. The next one is the Simple Plan music pack, and in that you're getting Welcome to My Life, Shut Up, Crazy, and Time to Say Goodbye. The Power Metal music pack includes Hearts on Fire by Hammerfall, King for a Day by Battle Beast, Blood of the Elves by Blind Guardian, When Angels Kill by Fifth Angel, Higher by Northtail, and Twilight Force by Twilight Force. Pantera and Disturbed music pack, Down with the Sickness by Disturbed, 10,000 Fists by Disturbed, Walk by Pantera, and 5 Minutes Alone by Pantera. And you're also getting the latest Smashfest music pack, which includes Silver Tongue by Alter Bridge, Army of the Night by Powerwolf, Pisces by Ginger, Keelhauled by Ailstorm, Hoot's Force by Gloryhammer, While Love Died by Northward, Stardust by Delane, Dost Elft Gadot, I'm sorry for butchering that, somebody I cannot pronounce, Master of the Universe by Angus Mix6. But if you already own Drums Rock and just want the Smashfest music pack, it's currently on sale at 30% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 40% off total. And just rewind about 30 seconds and you'll see all of the songs included in this Smashfest music pack. That ought to keep you busy for a while, I would think. And if you're still unsure whether or not this game is for you, you should totally check out the Drums Rock demo on the PlayStation Store itself. Experience the Renaissance like never before in the House of Da Vinci VR, and it's 20% off. Over 120 people have rated it 4.7 out of 5 stars, with 96% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Right on. This captivating puzzle adventure immerses you in the mysteries of Leonardo's world. Embark on a quest filled with puzzles, inventions, and hidden objects. As Da Vinci's most promising apprentice, you are summoned to Florence, only to find that Leonardo has mysteriously disappeared. Test your skills with war machines, complex lockboxes, and immersive room escapes. Use an extraordinary device that allows you to see events from the past, providing crucial insights and aiding in your quest. Explore 16th century Florence, delving into Leonardo's ingenious puzzles and devices. Many of these challenges are based on Da Vinci's actual inventions, alongside locations inspired by his original artworks and the historical city of Florence. This is actually the first time I've ever seen the trailer. Anybody out there, if you own this, played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know whether or not we should grab this at that sale price. I'm assuming so with that incredible rating there.
If the clock tower's so important, why stick it in the middle of the ocean?
Wait.
Clone your actions into endlessly repeating loops to build assembly lines and contraptions in this award-winning VR game, The Last Clockwinder, and it's 60% off! Over 490 people rated it 4.43 out of 5 stars, with 87% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. In this game, you revisit the Clock Tower as an adult, and it's an ancient haven for the galaxy's plants. Use the Clockwinder's gloves to turn the actions you take into looping, clockwork clones. They can do everything you can, from planting to cutting to throwing items through the air. Use their help to save the Clock Tower. And with this new mechanic, you're effortlessly creating your clones by simply acting them out, and then they just automatically mimic them afterwards. The idea here is you want to orchestrate a symphony of clones to work together to achieve efficient solutions to the Clockwinder's tasks. And if you're seeing what I'm seeing on screen here, I think you'll know whether or not this game is for you. Being honest, I'd have to sit down and try it. Again, maybe I'll leave like I did with Toy Trains completely blown away, but yeah, I mean, this right away seems like a complicated puzzle game. But speaking to this critically acclaimed gameplay, this one Road to VR's 2022 PC VR Game of the Year, and they're quoted by saying, "We were entranced by its puzzles," so that says a lot for sure. And then you've got Hardcore Gamer's 2022 VR Game of the Year, one of the year's best VR games, allowing players to get immersed in this small yet magical world. And then Upload VR said, a true delight and gem of a puzzle game. Again, Upload VR, I'm sorry, with the Bat Game of the Year, I can't hold that to any real merit just because I hate that game. But this one here, having those two other credentials speaking to it, absolutely now has me really intrigued. Let the music move as you catch notes, ride the rails, and dodge obstacles in Synth Riders, and it's 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total. Almost 1,600 people have rated this, 4.67 out of 5 stars, with 93% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I can totally understand why, because this is my favorite music-based rhythm game to date. And just to reiterate that PSVR2 upgrade is such an amazing difference, I do feel that this game needs to be in every PSVR2 owner's library. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium or Deluxe member, this game is no longer a part of your catalog as of May 20th. So this may be the time to get it. Really quick, the game is super simple to play. You have 2 balls as your hands, 1 of each color. You have to connect that ball with the same color ball on screen. And then you have these tracks that you're just having the ball hit and you follow that track. Super simple stuff. However, when you hit a ball, connecting it and you hit it dead on, you'll get more points. And then you can add modifiers with force, giving you more points. So the more power you put into it, the more points you'll get out of it. When you see a yellow ball, all you're doing is connecting both hands together and that makes yellow. When you see a green ball, you get to choose left or right hand and you have to finish the rest of the greens with that same hand. That is it. That's the whole game, aside from dodging any panel that comes your way, forcing you to dance and move your body. And unlike any other game, I really felt that the more I danced with the music, because I don't dance at all in real life, the easier the game became. So instead of just, being rigid and stiff, you can see I just totally let go and all of a sudden everything started working. So amazing, so kick-ass, such a great workout, so much fun. Now, if you've never played the game before, but you're totally sold and want to get everything for this incredible music-based rhythm game, you can get Synth Riders plus Complete Music Collection at 40% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total. And this, of course, features the base game, including 78 songs, along with 17 different music packs, and that alone has 85 additional songs, and 7 of those songs have unique PSVR2 experiences that feature immersive music videos. Awesome. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus Premium or Deluxe member, this game is no longer a part of your catalog as of May 20th, so this may be the time to get it. And I'm going to quickly go over everything that you get with this complete music collection, but before I do, for those of you like me that already own the base game and want just all of the DLC, they currently have Synth Riders Complete Music Collection, the add-on pack, at 40% off as well. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 50% off total. And don't forget to pause the screen, that way you can read each of the songs that you're getting in here, otherwise I'm just going to go through this really quick. Starting with the most recently released music pack, 90s Rock. The next one's called Current Waves. The next DLC is an immersive experience for Barbie, Dance and Dream, which is performed by 50/50 featuring Callie from Barbie the Album. 80s Mixtape Side A. '80s Mixtape Side B. The Electro Swing Essentials Pack. Electro Swing Essentials 2. Gorillaz Music Pack. League of Legends, which does include its own unique experience mode, which is awesome apparently. The Adrenaline Music Pack plus Experience. Caravan Palace Music Pack. The Groovin' Essentials Music Pack, which does include Bruno Mars, a few of his songs. The Synthwave Essentials 2, and yet another pack with that PSVR2 experience. Synthwave Essentials 3. The Cyberpunk Essentials Music Pack. The Muse Music Pack, and this pack does include that PSVR2 experience. And the Lindsey Sterling Music Pack, and here's another one with that PSVR2 experience mode. Assemble your party of miniatures, play action cards, and vanquish monsters with the roll of a die in this award-winning tactical tabletop RPG, Demeo. And it's 50% off! Over 730 people rated it 4.54 out of 5 stars, with 90% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And just to reiterate, you can totally play this alone, which I did, or cooperatively featuring crossplay, which supports up to 4 players. And yes, I can already recommend this from my personal experience, and I've only played the single player mode, and oh my, I have to say, it checks all the boxes of not just hitting the nostalgia, but hitting the fun factor in a small, well put together, polished package. Because this is a board game experience, you are choosing your pawns, which is your class of character, which does come with its own set of cards uniquely to that class.
The Guardian
ready.
is your righteous tank. She can soak up a lot of damage and is deadly in melee. The Assassin
Death is my profession.
is a sneaky backstabbing bastard and also good with traps and bombs. The Sorcerer is of the lightning bolt flinging type, can also use his spells for crowd management. The Hunter.
I'm ready.
Well, she hunts, using bow and arrow, but she can also call on beasts from the wild for aid and charm monsters, amongst other things. But I'm thinking you just want to know how this little gem plays, right? Right. You can play Demeo in 2 ways. Either gang up with a few friends, 2 to 4 of you together for a nail-biting co-op run. Or go it alone in skirmish mode, where you'll control 3 champions.
It is time!
Planning your path through a floor and working together is a must if you hope to survive all the way to the end. You'll have to fight through several dusky floors of the Elven Necropolis. On each floor, there's a monster holding a key. You'll need that key to open the floor exit and proceed to the next floor below. And there'll be plenty of other monsters to fight along the way. The game is turn-based, which means all champions take a turn, spending action points to move, attack, open doors, and so on.
And what's really cool is that each class can only move a certain amount of spaces based on their speed, and they can roll that die once to attack generically, and that costs 1 action point.
You have 2 action points to spend each turn.
And notice the cost at the top of each card. Some of them don't cost anything, and you can use another card costing 1 action point.
And then the enemies do their thing. Attacks and card outcomes are resolved with a die roll. You'll either hit, do a crit. Crit means critical hit,
which just means double damage.
And if you miss, your attack might hit something else nearby,
including friends.
Spells, special attacks, and other items are all represented by cards. We've got potions that will heal you up or make you faster or stronger. There's a banish spell that'll teleport an enemy to a random spot. A barricade that you can use to create bottlenecks or even block off rooms. A repeating ballista. It'll shoot bolts into the monsters every turn until destroyed. A magic shield that'll halve all incoming damage. And much, much more. You'll start with a few cards on hand. You can find more in chests spread out across the floors. Or earn by defeating enemies and increasing your card meter. There's also gold for you to gather. I'll be here to greet you in between each floor. My bazaar comes fully stocked, and at bargain prices too. I'm happy to buy any card you don't want, at a reasonable price. Due to some wondrous wizardry, the monsters' loot, entry and exit points, and even the order of the many different floors is randomized. Every run is a fresh experience. It's up to you to coordinate with your friends on how to beat each floor, or at least survive it. Reaching the final boss isn't easy, and it's not meant to be. Beating that stinking abomination will earn you plenty of bragging rights. Until someone else does it faster, that is. So, get your friends together, choose your champions, dive in, and above all, have fun.
The battle commence!
Now you can take everything you love about Demeo and compete against each other in Demeo Battles VR, and it's 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. Only 51 people rated this version, 4.24 out of 5 stars, with 78% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 12% did give this 1 star. This 1-to-4 multiplayer online competitive turn-based strategy game features over 10 maps tailored for intense player versus player combat. Unlike Demeo, Demeo Battles VR has you assemble an army of monsters to fight alongside you. From rats and goblins to cave trolls to giant slimes, a cast of over 30 plus creatures to choose from, all with a mind of their own. This instantly reminds me of Farpoint's 1 vs 1 online multiplayer mode where you would spawn monsters to fight with you, and it worked beautifully back in the day. In this game, each battle is 2 vs 2, where you can choose to control both champions on a team, or you can partner with a friend to compete against another team. Sounds awesome. To begin, choose a champion to match your playstyle with over 80 cards to purchase with coins when you enter the arena to build a unique loadout of monsters. Sharpen your skills for tactical triumph with over 60 single player challenges before you battle it out online in ranked mode, with average matches lasting just under 20 minutes. That's really interesting because I do remember Demeo could easily take a couple hours each session, so I'm really interested to see how this one plays out. And what's awesome is that it does include cross-play support to ensure that you'll always have a game to play. Right on. Anyone that owns it, plays it, loves it, or hates it, please let us know in the comment section whether or not we should grab this at that sale price. Plan your assault or orchestrate your defense as a team through intense close quarters combat in Breachers, and it's 20% off. If you're a PlayStation Premium member, you can check out the game for a full hour to see whether or not it's your flavor. But over 740 people rated it 4.33 out of 5 stars, with 83% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Unlike a lot of the other first-person shooters, this game strictly focuses on team-based combat, where one team will play as the Enforcers and the other as the Revolters. Your goal as an Enforcer is to eliminate your enemies and disarm their bombs with an EMP, repel and blow up walls, swing through windows, and catch your opponents by surprise with gadgetry like drones, cloaking devices, flashbangs, and breaching foam. Your goal as a Revolter is to prevent your enemies from disarming your bomb by terminating them before they do so. Use door blockers, trip mines, static field emitters, and proximity sensors to defend your position. To ensure victory, purchase and customize your extensive weaponry to your liking at the start of each round. Every gun, whether it's pistols, SMGs, shotguns, or assault rifles, can be modified with attachments to suit your needs. And they did just release this competitive update months ago, and this completely rewards you for going on daily. Literally, this is all about putting all your time into it. That said, they are offering some credits that you can spend on a variety of gun skins to customize the look of your weapons by simply heading into the armory in the main menu scene. To begin, Tier 1 offers 300 credits at 20% off. Tier 2 offers 1,000 credits at 20% off. Tier 3 offers 1,500 credits at 20% off. Tier 4 offers 2,500 credits, again at 20% off. And the last tier is offering 6,000 credits at 20% off. But again, do not spend your money on any of these credits and just get another game that's totally on sale. Or just get my favorite game on the PSVR2, which is Pavlov, and that's cheaper than that tier 5 credit price. That's crazy.
Rokar has fallen. In its place, monsters and twisted spirits now thrive.
The arcade-inspired VR hack and slash Until You Fall is 50% off. Almost 1,500 people have rated it 4.1 out of 5 stars, with 76% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 14% gave this 1 star. And I can totally speak to this from experience because I did play it all the way through on PSVR 1, made it right to that last boss, did not beat it, but was totally in love with the game after playing it. But it was really weird to get used to at first, and this is using it on PSVR 1, the old school mechanics. You actually had to time everything. There'd be these prompts on screen on where to block, and when to slice for critical strike, and arrows on screen as well as to when to dodge. But the timing, the music actually just had this beautiful rhythm going on, and I started to catch on, and it was addictive, man. I mean, I really got into this game. This might be the time now to actually buy this game, especially if you've never played it before on PSVR 1. And yes, it is another roguelike where you're playing these levels over and over, but there are a certain amount of stages, and there is a boss at the end that I got to, didn't quite beat him. But as you progress, getting these new weapons and new upgrades, it really does change the whole game completely. So it was a lot of fun. I can recommend it. I've not played this on PSVR 2, and I was totally bummed again. No upgrade path. And I just have to mention one of our community members from the last sale, the Bad Tarot, piped in and said that they loved the game on the PSVR 1, but it was really hard. And on the easiest difficulty, they could barely pass the last boss, which I can attest to this because I couldn't, to be honest with you. They go on to say that the PSVR 2 is so much better. Not only did they beat every difficulty, but they got the platinum, and it all has to do with the superior version of the PSVR 2. They go on to say that this is an amazing game and ought to be judged by its functioning counterpart on the PSVR 2. Awesome. Thanks so much, The Bad Tarot, for sharing that with us because I'm totally stoked to want to try this game out yet again. Set out on a quest with a beautiful anime-inspired fantasy world brought to life in RUINSMAGUS Complete, and it's 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 40% off total. Over 120 people have rated it 4.32 out of 5 stars, with 81% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. RUINSMAGUS claims to be a genuinely magical experience with an engrossing narrative, a heartwarming musical score, and professional voice acting that add to the game's depth. You are a new guild member, and your mission is to strengthen the guild with your magic, resources, and wisdom. Cast and blink your way through a stunning fantasy world across more than 25 story-driven quests, and explore the ruins beneath the city of Grand Omnis. Overcome deadly puzzles to uncover valuable artifacts. Master 16 powerful spells, and use them to defeat rivals and guardians who protect the ruins. Survivors who are clever and agile enough to overcome the ruins can return to the surface, procure new items, and upgrade their equipment to increase their chances of success. Are you ready to face the challenges ahead and emerge victorious? This game has actually been around for quite some time now, and nobody in the comment section has ever spoken to this that I can recall. Anyone out there, if you own this, loved it, played it, or hate it, please let us know whether or not we should grab this at that sale price. The cult classic that redefined mobile games has landed in virtual reality in Angry Birds VR Isle of Pigs, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 330 people rated it 4.11 out of 5 stars, with 77% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And seeing this in VR, unlike using the mobile phones where you're using your finger and judging the right angle to shoot at, to see this at full-fledged life-size 3D, using your actual skill in that slingshot and knowing it's all physics-based where you hit that area. Super cool. In this game, you join Red, Chuck, Bomb, and the Blues to save the stolen eggs. Explore the remote island where the greedy green pigs take their vacation in 104 fun-filled levels. Once the new boss pig, Dr. Frankenswine, takes over, it's time to slingshot your way through even more challenging spooky levels gameplay, where the beaches are scary, the cliffs are creepy, the slopes are slimy, and the peaks are terrifying. Throughout the levels, choose from different angles to make your slingshot, using classic Angry Birds gameplay elements to progress and strive for the best possible score. But the fun doesn't stop there. With the level builder, players not only have creative freedom to design and play their own levels featuring their favorite feathered friends, but they can now also share their creations. That is really cool. Have them ranked by the greater Angry Birds VR Isle of Pigs community and discover an unlimited amount of player-created content. I didn't even consider the replayability of this game, already knowing there's 104 fun-filled levels already designed for you, and then seeing the infinite replayability. Just the fun factor, I'm guessing, would be there. You building your own obstacles for your friends to play on. That sounds really cool. You can now become a pro goaltender and aim for the best clean sheet in history by shutting out real-life footballers in CleanSheet Football, and it's 15% off. Over 230 people rated it 3.92 out of 5 stars, with 73% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 18% did give this 1 star. Now that said, they do offer additional exercises along with gloves and some other stuff as separate DLC, as well as an Ultimate Edition, but they're not on sale right now. Quite simply, become a pro goalkeeper using the best VR soccer game on PSVR2. Aim for the best clean sheet in history by shutting out real-life footballers in this thrilling VR sports app. You can improve your soccer skills in these ways. Play quickfire mode, where you block thousands of high-speed shots. See how you stack up in the global leaderboards, set your own weekly fitness goals, and track how many calories you've burned while aiming for the top score. Awesome. In set play mode, you can challenge yourself against shots recreated from real-life goals. You can also enhance your skills by unlocking additional packs for practicing headers, volleys, free kicks, corners, or even nail-biting penalty saves. From the developers that brought you CleanSheet Football, get ready to put your agility to the ultimate test in DodgeCraft, and it's currently 15% off. Only 32 people have rated this 4.34 out of 5 stars, with 81% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Blending high-octane fun and full-body workout, DodgeCraft is perfect for fans of dodgeball, rugby, or football. And right here you're seeing Cusman's gameplay footage of the game mode called Dodge 'em, where you're facing an oncoming asteroid belt and seeing how long you can dodge to survive. I'm also seeing Cusman hitting clusters of rocks while grabbing some balls and throwing them in a side basket there, while weaving away at the same time. The other game mode is called Run the Gauntlet, where you simply defend your zone from relentless robots trying to breach your defenses by pushing, shoving, and punching these pesky foes off the ledge to show them who's boss. Are you ready to rise to the challenge? If you're still unsure, be sure to check out more of Cusman's gameplay footage for a better feel of what to expect. I've left a link in the description, that way you guys can check it out for yourself. 90s Extreme Skiing is your backstage pass to the raddest era of video games, and it's currently 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. Only 77 people have rated it 4.23 out of 5 stars, with 80% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. From the same developers of the skiing adventure Snow Scout, this is an exclusive title for the PSVR2 and boasts crystal clear visuals with 90 frames per second refresh rate, and includes sense and headset haptics that make every turn, jump, and gnarly wipeout feel legit. With 20 blazing fast downhill races across 8 ski resorts, you'll drop massive airs, grind like a maniac, and claim medal after medal in your way to glory, with 20 online leaderboards and a soundtrack of 20 tracks that were actually produced in the 90s. Awesome. I personally have never skied before in real life, but from what I've read, the people that do love the skiing have reported that they thoroughly enjoyed this game overall. And what's really cool is they've added even more content for free with the latest freaking Fogfest update. The only real consistent negative I'm hearing is that you have to calibrate after loading to a new area in order to ensure that your skis line up properly with your body. Other than that, this does sound like it will satisfy the sensation of downhill skiing. Anyone in the comments, if you own this, played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know whether or not we should grab this at that sale price. Now, the first person shooter that is for everyone, apparently, this is Sugar Mess. Let's play Jolly Battle. It's 20% off currently. And as you can see here, this is a total cartoon paradise, and it claims to be a fun arcade first-person shooter for the whole family. Kind of sounds weird to say that, but yeah, it does make sense. You're going to embark on a journey through the amazing levels of the Sugar Kingdom. Make use of the vast arsenal of weapons that get stronger as you use them. Challenge mighty bosses and use their weak spots to defeat them. Or you can use special items to gain an advantage over your opponents. Other exciting activities are awaiting you, including solving challenging puzzles, riding in a unique vehicle around the kingdom, as well as feeling the rhythm and participating in musical performances. Fend off the attacks of the hilarious yummy enemies that shatter into pieces upon impact. Dive into a fairy tale world and find out the exciting story of the Sugar Prince and his mysterious enemy. And what's really cool, if you're totally unsure whether or not this is for you, me included, you can get the Sugar Mess Let's Play Jolly Battle demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now.
Life, it can be a never-ending race.
Are you ready to smash some balls in VR? Black Hole Pool claims to be the ultimate pool billiards VR experience with the most accurate physics, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 30% off total. Only 35 people have rated it so far, 3.77 out of 5 stars, with 72% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 17% did give this 1 star. There are many ways to enjoy the beautiful world of pool. First, the Hustle Bar is a social place where players from all around the world meet to play for virtual stakes. Collect coins and spend them on cool accessories or a drink at the bar. And if you're feeling competitive, you can play for ELO points in the ranked room against randomly matched opponents to climb the leaderboard and become the best. Finally, the VIP room is an invite-only place for you and your friends to chill out and shoot some balls. Of course, you can always just practice on an AI opponent in the practice room if you want to build your skills first. On top of that, you'll collect experience points to unlock cool accessories like cues, ball sets, and felt. Yeah, that totally sounds awesome, as I do love the pool and grew up with a snooker table in the house, which unfortunately I don't see here, but apparently 9-ball and some other variants are available, which sounds great. I just want to quickly say thanks to everyone participating and piping in the comments last time this game was on sale, as a few of you have definitely let us know that we should grab this on sale. I'm consistently hearing about the incredible physics, and that the cross-platform in-game voice chat quality is very good according to Cusman, who actually has some gameplay footage available on their channel if you want to check it out. I'll leave a link in the description there. Again, I highly recommend you read all of Cusman's very informative descriptions, as I feel it tells me everything I need to know. Very much appreciate your continued efforts and your continued help and support on the Reddit forums. Super cool, man.
Life is a
Chernobyl Again is an adventure game that takes place in the 3D scanned Chernobyl exclusion zone for a more immersive and engaging experience. And it's currently 75% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 80% off total. Over 110 people have rated it 3.37 out of 5 stars, with 54% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 34% gave this 1 or 2 stars. In Chernobyl Again, you're going to explore the zone, experience its dark atmosphere, and follow a story full of unexpected twists and various kinds of puzzles you'll solve while traveling through space and time. Your goal will be to stop the Chernobyl nuclear power plant explosion and the consequences it brings not only to our timeline, but to alternate futures that have become available to us thanks to your discovery of time travel. To add to this story, living without parents isn't easy. You know that well. To the world, you are a successful Ukrainian scientist responsible for discovering time travel. But deep down, you're an adult that desperately wants to see your parents again. This is what drove all of your scientific experiments. But the world doesn't care about your idealistic motives. Mighty external political forces dream of restoring the old world order using you and your discoveries, even if that means leaving a trail of scorched earth and ending your life. Now it's your call whether to follow their orders or find allies and attempt to thwart their evil plans. Just remember that in a world full of lies, mystery, and special interests, the only person you can trust is yourself. Man, that sounds awesome.
And to take advantage of this unique research opportunity.
Trapped in a dying spaceship filled with horrors, you must explore, survive, and find your way back to Earth in Cosmodread, and it's 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 30% off total. Over 220 people rated it 3.82 out of 5 stars, with 66% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. Again, years ago, this would have been a lot better compared to other games that are currently available. It did take about 5 or 6 hours to get through the entire game, and it is a roguelike, but as you're going through, you're actually able to keep some of the weapons you were upgrading and crafting before, so each run becomes easier and easier. But really, it is a simple game where you're exploring this deserted spaceship and you have these enemies come at you as you're going through it, just trying to survive with limited resources. So that is the appeal here, but I was expecting more of the searching around, actually grabbing and using items. It had a bit of that, but not much, if that makes sense. As well, there was something really bizarre. I feel like I'm the only one talking about this, so heads up. Right in the beginning of the game, when you load it, the first menu you see, if you just stop and stare straight, you're going to see the screen slowly turns to the right. This does not happen throughout the entire game, and you only notice it if you just stop and stand still for a sec. You don't notice that when you're running around constantly doing stuff. So it does feel like a bare bones crafting, surviving game. A lot of great ratings again years ago, but there are a lot of other better games out there, just saying.
It happened unexpected.
And if you're looking for a first-person shooter with a lengthy campaign, apparently Cactus Cowboy Desert Warfare is that game, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. Over 200 people have rated it 4.73 out of 5 stars, with 93% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And the key takeaway I keep hearing about this is that the gun mechanics, the gameplay, is just a lot of fun. This is an 8-hour campaign with over 12 unique VR guns with manual reloading for each. And you can totally customize your guns with scopes, grips, and lasers, with over 30 weapon skins to unlock throughout the game. At an excavation site close to the Bugland border, a mysterious cave is uncovered when the Bug Army launches a sudden assault. They're after something that is inside the cave, something so precious that it sparks an all-out war. Step into the role of Cactus Cowboy, pushing back against the Bug Army and revealing the sinister plans of their leaders. Sounds simple enough, but again, I actually did end up getting this on sale last time and put about 3 hours into it, so I'm about 1/3 of the way through the campaign, and it's decent so far. That's the best way to put it considering I haven't played it fully. But do keep in mind that this is a budget title for sure, and it does show, but the gunplay is good so far. I will have to spend more time in this to give it a fair review, but it's hard to recommend with all of the other awesome games that are currently on sale right now.
So, you want to hear a story?
Crimin, Mercenary Tales, has you embark on 8 epic adventures filled with daring feats, ancient puzzles, and thrilling escapades. And it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. Only 35 people have rated it 3.57 out of 5 stars, with 63% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 23% did give this 1 star. Experience visually stunning comic book graphics and enjoy the hilarious banter of quirky characters as you journey through this captivating adventure. Engage in breathtaking sword fights, wield truly unconventional weapons, and use the environment to your advantage. This includes 8 enticing adventures narrated by 8 lively characters, each with their own unique flair. This has a treasure trove of humor, hidden secrets, and nods to beloved pop culture, and allows you to unlock over 100 achievements as you conquer challenges and uncover hidden treasures. And other than the PlayStation Store description, I really have no idea what the game is about, whether it's a roguelike or if it's only a few hours long. Anyone in the comments section, if you can speak to this, whether or not we should get this at the sale price, that would be awesome.
Back for more stories.
Very well. Good.
Encircled is an immersive strategy and hilarious atmosphere VR exclusive tower defense game, and it's currently 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 25% more, making it 75% off total. Only 10 people have rated it 4.3 out of 5 stars, but 8 of them did give it 5 stars. Designed from the ground up to bring the best of tower defense and VR together, Encircled combines strategic depth with endless replayability and a whimsical sense of humor. Freely place your towers anywhere on the map to create the ultimate defense, considering the elemental type, advantages, and disadvantages to outsmart your foes. When the towers can't hold the line, take matters into your own hands, literally. Channel powerful beams from your hands to decimate enemies and turn the tide of battle. It also includes 9 handcrafted maps that are deeply varied, with more planned in future updates. 5 game modes for each map, including easy, standard, hard, endless, and spirit master. And of course you can play standing or seated with snap or smooth turning, but it does say that it has native 90Hz refresh rate. Right on. Other than that, I don't really know anything else about it. I do not typically play tower defense based games. Anybody in the comments section, if you do own Encircled, if you can speak to it and let us know whether or not we should get this at the sale price, that would be awesome.
Welcome to Electrician Simulator VR.
Ever wondered what it's like to be an electrician? Well, wonder no more, because Electrician Simulator VR is currently 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 40% off total. Only 69 people have rated it 4.22 out of 5 stars, with 82% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 14% did give this 1 star. Repair outlets and switches, lay cables in the walls, and connect electrical appliances. But don't forget about the fuses, because an encounter with electricity can be very dangerous. Buy the necessary items to perform tasks in different ways. Install lamps, replace bulbs, but just be careful not to break anything or you'll have to pay out of your own pocket. And for those of you that loved the original game, expect to see classic customers as you visit their homes and take part in new, redesigned missions. I'm really not too sure what else to say about this, or whether or not it's actually fun to play. Anyone in the comments, if you own this, played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know whether or not we should grab this at that sale price. Gorilla Attack and Bridge the Gap are now bundled together, and it's 55% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 60% off total. Rampage through a sprawling cityscape, smashing buildings, tossing cars, and leaving a trail of destruction in Gorilla Attack. Only 85 people have rated it 3.21 out of 5 stars, with over half the audience giving this 3, 2, or 1 out of 5 stars. Now, I cannot speak to this game from personal experience, but I can say I highly recommend you guys check out Without Parole's quick 2 or 3 minute review on the game. And I'm going to leave a link in the description because I do think he does an excellent job and totally informs you of what you should expect if you decide to get this game at that sale price. Introducing yet another take on the Lemmings formula with modern VR mechanics, this is Bridge the Gap. Only 17 people have rated it 3.71 out of 5 stars, with 65% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 18% gave this 1 star. And the whole premise of the game is that you're a friendly spirit entity tasked with helping these little monkeys find their way through the mysterious Bricklands. You must create safe passages between portals as you lead the monkeys to safety, helping them overcome all environmental obstacles along the way. And this touts to have 5 unique settings with 80 varied levels, with more coming soon. And even though the game's been out for just a little while, I've only heard great things about it so far. Anyone in the comments section, if you own it, played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know whether or not we should grab this at that sale price. Now, if you just want to get Bridge the Gap by itself, it's currently on sale at 50% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. And if you want to learn more about the game, you can rewind about a minute in the Bridge the Gap and Gorilla Attack bundle. The completely rebranded Among Us 3D VR finally allows flat screen players to participate in the VR environment, and it's currently 30% off. Over 1,400 people have rated it 3.48 out of 5 stars, with 60% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 28% did give this 1 star. The classic game now returns with a massive amount of players flooding the gates, and with this, a new game mode called the Infected. Quite simply, the Infected try to catch and infect all the crewmates to expand their ranks before the crewmates can finish a set number of tasks. And the other major difference from the original VR version is that all cosmetics are now purchased using Stardust. This is heavily dependent upon the social interaction, where you're going to be tasked, quite literally, with doing tasks at the same time as everybody else, but you never know who's chosen as the imposter. That might be you actually one round, and the idea here is that you're supposed to do your tasks like everyone else, but at the same time deduce who is the murderer going around murdering everybody. That is the very quick gist of it. There's a lot more actual mechanics to the game that I can't speak to because I've never played it, but you can totally check online. There's so many people that have covered this, and this was originally a mobile game that got extremely popular, and then they reinvented this in VR, and from what I'm seeing, this is the way to play Among Us, for sure.
But hey, come on. Don't get spooked now, newcomer.
Cave Digger 2 Dig Harder is a 1 to 4 player VR action-adventure game set in the Woodland Valleys, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 200 people rated it 3.42 out of 5 stars, with 56% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 26% did give this 1 or 2 stars. Start with a pickaxe in one hand and nothing in the other. Excavate the bedrock, reap the rewards of Mother Earth, and trade the mined valuables for new gadgets, travels, funky wild fashion, and more. Cave Digger 2 is a 1 to 4 player VR action-adventure game set in wildland valleys, where you discover old mines, nautical caves, and ruins of ancient civilizations inspired by Western, diesel punk, and Lovecraftian themes. Explore the pristine lands, loot its riches, and unravel a mystery linked to a great explorer. As you go, it's best to keep a 6-shooter nearby, just in case. Your goal is simply to mine and carry loot back to the surface the best you can for your mission assigners. With the surplus reward that you get, you can buy new things like upgrading your dependable pickaxe with a shinier look, and faster digging rate too, of course. The story has you follow the same path where a great explorer has once wandered. Who is this hardy explorer? Why did he come to these valleys? And where is he now? The answers to these and more lie in the depths of the valleys. The story has multiple endings, each revealing a different side of it. Find the scattered comic pages to a tale of greed, eldritch power, and secrets beyond space and time. Who the Wanderer is and why he did what he did in the valleys became clear in the end. But is it really the end? Very cool. This seems much bigger than the first game, if you've ever played that. That was on PSVR1. Speaking of which, Cave Digger VR is currently 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 540 people rated it 3.45 out of 5 stars, with 54% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 28% gave this 1 or 2 stars. And all I remember about the first one is that you're constantly going down this shaft, and then you're hitting the walls, collecting as much gems or rocks as you can. There is an underground area with a track. There is a track on the outside that goes around a bit, but there wasn't much going on that I remember. But what surprised me after reading the description here is that this game did have 7 endings to begin with, and I was like, what? I don't remember that. But I did play through it once, and it was okay back in the day, so I can't recommend this for PSVR 2. I am very curious about Cave Digger 2 though. The original text-based RPG from the 70s is back in VR in Colossal Cave VR, and it's 65% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 70% off total. Only 60 people have rated it 3.82 out of 5 stars, with 70% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 26% gave this 1 or 2 stars. Embark on a timeless journey through a sprawling cave system packed with treasures, creatures, mazes, and wits-defying puzzles. The great grandpappy of adventure games will test you and tickle your problem-solving skills as you unearth its plot and secrets. Through cunning trial and error, you will crawl through tight squeezes, encounter impressive caverns, collect inventory, locate treasure, thwart dwarf attacks, all while keeping your eye on the score before your lamp goes out. Very interesting. This groundbreaking game is considered one of the most influential in history, establishing conventions that have become standard in the adventure genre. It has been ported to just about every computer and console, played by millions, and inspired by many other games, books, movies, and TV series. Very interesting. Again, I never played this game growing up, have no attachment to it whatsoever. But for those of you that do and want everything to be able to play this on your PS4, PS5, or PSVR2, you can get the Colossal Cave game bundle, and it's 65% off as well, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 70% off total. Fantavision was originally released on the PlayStation 2 and is back on the PSVR 2, and it's currently 60% off right now. Over 130 people rated this 3.33 out of 5 stars with a completely mixed bag of reviews here. But that said, just speaking from experience, I did buy the game during launch. It may have been patched since. When I popped it in, I wasn't initially impressed with the colors and the vibrance. There's just something about the fireworks that seemed a bit really fuzzy, and even the backgrounds themselves, to me, the buildings and whatnot, didn't appear this super clarity that I'm used to after playing like Horizon and Pavlov and stuff. But either way, the game is a puzzle-based game like a Columns or something like that, where you're making these connections to the same colored fireworks that you're hitting there and you're exploding them. So I can see the addictive factor here if you're into those types of games, but because I was so excited with the PSVR 2 and then I dropped to this, I felt like, no, I'm going back to Pavlov like ASAP. So I didn't give this more than probably an hour and a half. But I do know there are a lot of people back in the day that did enjoy the actual experience, so this would be the way to play it in full VR, I would think. So yeah, sorry, I cannot personally recommend this game just from personal experience. Play with a friend in co-op as they use the TV to help you find the lost Seeker eggs in Seeker, My Shadow, and it's 50% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Only 37 people rated it 3.24 out of 5 stars, with most giving it 3 stars. The premise of the game is that you step in the shoes of a mountain-sized giant, Spirit, and your goal is to lead and assist a tiny yet courageous seeker named Kippo through a collection of casual puzzle levels set in a serene and imaginative surroundings. This is a single player and local co-op game, where you get to explore the diverse set of compelling levels and discover the story by overcoming casual yet demanding puzzles as a single player or as an asymmetric cooperative with your mate. Locate and retrieve the lost Seeker eggs and collect the concealed cards from each level while engaging in the exciting, puzzling, and family-friendly scenery that send you on an immersive adventure. Again, anyone who's played this game, especially in the couch co-op mode, please let us know whether or not we should grab this at that awesome sale price. Operation Serpens is a fast-paced action-adventure game made for VR, and it's 50% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 130 people rated it 3.18 out of 5 stars, with a totally mixed bag of reviews here. Join the unit of elite soldiers and choose your preferred gun to take down the ranks of the evil Snakes organization to the very top. Just remember to dodge the vast amounts of incoming bullets in order not to fail your mission. Play the single-player campaign, zombie survival mode, and co-op maps with up to 4 players, each mission bringing something new into play. Very cool that you can play up to 4 players in the actual campaign to begin with. That is awesome. Again, anyone in the comment section that owns it, has played it, please let us know your thoughts on whether or not we should grab this at the sale price. Participate in the hit TV series and the VR tailored adventure in Survivorman VR The Descent, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 150 people rated it 2.84 out of 5 stars, with an equal mix of reviews here. Again, you are participating in an actual episode of the hit TV series, and you're supposed to survive an Arctic nightmare as the sole survivor of a helicopter crash on a freezing mountain. Lost, cold, and with darkness closing in, can you build a fire and shelter to brave the elements? Test your survival skills in Survivorman VR The Descent, an authentic and dynamic adventure in the breathtaking Canadian Arctic. Face real-world extreme challenges that push your intellect, emotions, and physical abilities to the limit. Under the expert guidance of legendary survivalist Les Shroud, rely on your skills and resourcefulness to save your own own life. In over 6 intense levels, confront challenges that test your survival skills and inch you closer to rescue. From crafting snowshoes to glissading down slopes, navigating glacial crevices, building hunting traps, rappelling cliffs, and keeping the fire burning, every move counts. Follow the river to potential rescue, but watch out for polar bears. Wah! This claims to have photorealistic exploration where you experience the extremes of mountain survival in a stunningly immersive first-person environment. Monitor body temperature, fatigue, and hunger using a convenient wrist-mounted HUD-like display to survive harsh conditions. Ever wonder if pigeons are real? Become the infamous bird in VR Pigeons, and it's 50% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 55% off total. Over 110 people rated it 2.67 out of 5 stars, with 55% giving this 1 or 2 stars, but 27% did give this 5 stars. In this game, you're gonna channel your inner pigeon. Bob your head like a pigeon to use the unique movement controls to slip into your pigeon self. Go out into the world and find a rooftop. Wait for the granny to throw some bread. Eat as much bread as possible. Bread is life. And through this, you will unlock and discover 4 different levels, and the premise is to literally protect your bread from other pigeons while you're collecting bread and using power-ups and map shortcuts to be the fastest out of all of them. Anyone that's actually played this game, please let us know whether or not we should grab this on sale. Unwind as you search for hidden treasures at your own pace in Unhidden Cozy Hidden Object, and it's 70% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 80% off total. Only 23 people have rated it 3.74 out of 5 stars, with 65% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 26% gave this 1 or 2 stars. Because I couldn't find anything about this game or even a trailer, my first thought was to check out Cusman's YouTube channel, and I found the gameplay footage shown right here. I've included a link to this video in my description and highly recommend you check it out, along with the detailed written description about Cusman's first impressions with it. That said, I highly recommend you read all of the descriptions of Cusman's PSVR2 videos, as they are very detailed and super informative. And I just want to say thanks so much to Cusman for allowing me to share this gameplay footage with everyone and your ongoing support for the PSVR2 community. Awesome. Calligrapher is a simulator of traditional ink writing, and it's currently 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 60% off total. Only 43 people have rated this 3.7 out of 5 stars, with 63% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 25% gave this 1 or 2 stars. Soak your writing brush in inks of all colors. Become a poet, scholar, painter, and a true master of calligraphy. That is literally the PlayStation Store description. But from the research that I've done, it does actually show you how to do calligraphy, but it's kind of like stenciling an area, not perfectly precise from what I understand. Anybody in the comments section, if you own this, played it, loved it, or hate it, please let us know whether or not we should grab this at that awesome sale price. Across the Valley is a friendly farm simulator with a fantastic hand-drawn art style, and it's currently 75% off right now. Only 98 people have rated it 3.03 out of 5 stars, with 44% giving it 4 or 5 out of 5, but 43% gave this 1 or 2 stars. On your farm, there's something to do every day. Give your plants and animals plenty of love and care. They'll reward you with a bountiful harvest, and use those profits to expand your farm. The features listed on the actual game speak to no motion sickness with the action point location system. No artificial movement is done. Even though that seems like a good bullet point, what it's saying is that you're going node to node teleportation based. You're actually snapping to specific stations of play, from what I understand. Each action point station is designed carefully to have everything you need within the reach of your hands. Again, it's promoting the whole thing being easily accessible, everything right where you are. You don't have to get up and move, none of that stuff. And then it says no button learning, where you do everything with your own hands, and that does feel natural. That is the way VR should be, truly. Literally, you can grab a shovel like you would in real life, dig a hole, sow your seed, all that stuff. With 36 quests or tasks that guide you from the basics of seeding to going on a truffle hunt with your pigs, you have infinite orders to keep you busy, even after the main game. And they're also talking about how you can upgrade your house and make it look nice and cozy. Interesting. But anybody, again, if you're into farm simulators, you may be able to speak to this in the comments section. Let other people who are into that genre know whether or not this game will speak to them. Enjoy a vivid, interactive fiction about an artist finishing her final piece of her gallery submission in Behind the Frame, the Finest Scenery VR, and it's 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. Only 40 people have rated it 2.5 out of 5, with most giving it 3, 2, or 1 out of 5 stars. That said, I don't think this is a game. The actual PlayStation Store description goes on to say that now available in VR, you'll be able to paint brushstrokes and fully realize 3D space. A relaxing, eloquent experience that can be played at any pace. Become immersed in a panoramic world filled with resplendent colors, beautiful hand-animated visuals, and a smooth, easy listening soundtrack. As a passionate artist, seek the missing colors that will bring your paintings to life, all while remembering to take the occasional coffee and breakfast breaks that keep you going. There's more than meets the eye, for every painting has a story to tell. Sounds like Transformers. Dive into and explore panoramic VR worlds. Experience an evocative story through the eyes of a passionate artist. There's really not much else to say other than the PlayStation Store description and what you're seeing on the trailer here. Anyone in the comment section, if you own the game, app, experience, whatever you call this, please let us know what your thoughts are on whether or not we should get this on sale. I have no idea. Battle waves of polygon-shaped zombies in a series of high-stakes shooting ranges in Deadland Polygon VR, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 20% more, making it 70% off total. Over 100 people have rated it 2.23 out of 5 stars, with over half the audience giving this 1 out of 5, but 18% gave this 5 stars. The game touts to use real-life shooting mechanics to aim, reload, and fire with accuracy while collecting power-ups to enhance your arsenal. Whether you're facing a zombie onslaught in endless mode or racing against time in timed mode, each mission brings unique challenges. But from everything I'm seeing and hearing, every other game I've played with the target mode, whether it's Pavlov, Zombieland, Gun Club VR, Resident Evil, like every game with a targeting range looks better than this game. I personally have not played this, so I can't speak to this from experience, but as you're seeing here, this gameplay footage is from Cusman's YouTube channel, so I highly recommend you check it out if you want to know more about this game.
Welcome to Deadlands.
Traverse post-apocalyptic environments, dodging enemy attacks while constantly on the move in Deadland 2 VR, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 20% more, making it 70% off total. Over 130 people rated it 1.93 out of 5 stars, with 72% giving this 1 star, but 20% did give this 5 stars. Use a combination of firepower and melee combat to fend off the undead while scavenging for resources and upgrades. With each level, the challenge escalates, pitting you against more vicious enemies, accumulating in epic boss fights with terrifying zombie monstrosities. Gear up, survive the apocalypse, and become the ultimate zombie slayer. That said, I've never played the game before, but I highly encourage you check out Cusman's YouTube channel as you're witnessing the gameplay footage right here if you want to learn more about this game. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check it out. And if you totally dig the theme and the gameplay, you may want to get the Deadland 2 VR Avatar Bundle at 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 20% more, making it 70% off total. And all I have to show you is that thumbnail on the graphic right there, and I'm assuming all of those pictures are part of the Avatar pack. Bocce VR Simulator is quite literally what it says, and it's 33% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 2% more, making it 35% off total. Only 32 people have rated this 1.88 out of 5 stars, with 78% giving this 1 or 2 stars. I personally love playing bocce, so if this does anything like it does, then I'm sold. The game claims to bring the classic game of bocce to life in a stunning virtual reality experience. Known and loved by many for its simplicity and fun, bocce is perfect for players of all ages. The game is extremely easy. You just start off, one person throws this Polino ball, it's a tiny white ball, and then wherever that is, you're trying to throw your balls as close as possible to that Polino. And then at the end of the round, the closer balls get the most points, essentially. And when you're playing against with somebody, you can actually knock their ball away from the Polino. So even though your opponent could have thrown an awesome shot to begin with, you can totally knock them out of the area where they don't score anything, and then you take their spot. Very cool. It does include an obstacle mode for added challenge. I'd love to see what that looks like. It does claim to have advanced AI for realistic competition, customizable game point targets, and stunning graphics with immersive gameplay. Whether or not this game actually does what bocce does, I have no idea. Again, anyone in the comment section, if you own the game, please let us know. Does this actually play like bocce in real life? Solve a mystery of the famous detective in this VR escape room called The Murder of Sherlock Holmes, and it's 70% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 75% off total. Only 41 people have rated it 1.88 out of 5 stars, with 68% giving this 1 star, but 15% did give this 5 stars. And normally this is the point where I say, wow, what happened here? Because the game touts to be able to interact with everything in the environment, which I absolutely love about VR, but that score has been obviously confusing me for so long here. That said, I do have to give Cusman some more credit here for I think like the 6th time in this video, because he did actually let us know in the comment section last time it was on sale that this is one of the worst games that they spent time on the PSVR2. And then Cusman goes on to say they don't know whether or not the interactivity is better on other platforms, but what they played on PSVR2 was definitely broken and not fun to try and make work. Enough said, I totally understand and I super appreciate you giving us the heads up.
Oh, wow.
And that is all of the games and DLC in Sony's Summer Game Fest sale going on until Wednesday, June 18th. If you guys like the video or any of the sales videos that I produce, please click that like button. And if you love what I'm doing with the channel, please subscribe to it. And for all of you that have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I super appreciate it. Until the next one.